Here are 10 weirdly specific things you probably shouldn't tell everyone. Some of these might sound completely random at first, but that's what makes them worth talking about. There are certain things we casually tell people without thinking twice, even though they probably don't need to know them in the first place. Just understand that not every piece of information about your life needs to be leaving your mouth. The first, weirdly specific thing is your biggest goals. If there is something you're seriously trying to accomplish, you don't always need to tell everyone about it. Sometimes it's better to keep your goals quiet and actually work on them before you start explaining them to other people. The moment you tell everyone what you're going to accomplish, you suddenly have all these outside opinions entering your head. Someone might tell you it's unrealistic, someone might laugh at it, someone might not understand why you even want it. And eventually, you start questioning something you were completely confident about before. You don't need everyone's approval before you start working towards something. Sometimes you just need to work in silence and let the result speak for itself. Number two, your biggest insecurities. I've never understood people who do this, but you do not need to tell everyone the things you're most insecure about. There are certain parts of yourself that are personal, and you should be careful about who you trust with them. Being open with people is a good thing, but being open doesn't mean giving everyone access to your weakest points. You should be able to have things that are just yours. The people who genuinely care about you won't need you to reveal every insecurity before they can understand you. Number three, mistakes you're currently trying to fix. Everyone has things they're not proud of, including me. Maybe you handled something badly. Maybe there's a part of yourself you're actively trying to improve. That's okay. But you don't necessarily need to announce every mistake you're making while you're still trying to overcome it. Sometimes you need to give yourself time to actually change before explaining that change to everyone else. You don't have to constantly tell people you're becoming a better person. Just become one. Number four, exactly where you are. This one is pretty simple, honestly. You don't need to let everyone know your exact location while you're still there. If you're somewhere with friends, at a restaurant, an event, or just hanging out somewhere, there's really no reason to broadcast your exact location in real time to everyone who follows you. If you want to post about it, just post about it later. You don't need to give strangers a live update of where you are. Number five, your entire personal history when you first meet someone. You don't have to tell someone your entire life story the first time you talk to them. Let people get to know you naturally. There are things about your past that might eventually be important to share, but someone you've known for 5 minutes doesn't automatically deserve access to all of it. Trust takes time. You can be friendly without immediately giving someone every detail about your life. Number six, information that could be used to guess your passwords. This one is especially important, obviously, because things like your first pet's name, your childhood nickname, the street you grew up on, all of this personal information can sometimes be used to answer security questions or make educated guesses about your accounts. You might think you're just answering some harmless questions about yourself, but someone else could be putting all of those little pieces together. So if a piece of information could potentially help someone access one of your accounts, there's really no reason to casually give it away. Number seven, things you're embarrassed about. Not every embarrassing thing that happens to you needs to become a story. Sometimes we overshare because we're nervous, because we want to keep a conversation going, or because we want someone to like us. And then 5 minutes later, we're sitting there thinking, why did I just tell them that? You don't have to fill every silence by revealing something personal. It's perfectly fine to keep some stories to yourself. Number eight, your family problems. Not every argument or personal situation happening in your family needs to become public information, especially when you're angry. Because when you're emotional, it's really easy to tell someone something that you probably wouldn't have shared if you had taken just a few minutes to think about it. And once you've told someone, you can't take that information back. Sometimes it's better to calm down first and then decide whether something actually needs to be shared. Number nine, your phone carrier. Okay, so this one is extremely specific because there's not much reason for some random person to know what phone company you use. Your phone number can be connected to a lot of important accounts, and information about your phone service can potentially become useful to someone trying to mess with those accounts. I'm not saying you need to panic every time someone asks what phone you use, but just don't casually give strangers unnecessary information about your phone account or security setup. And this goes for your online security in general. Use strong passwords, enable two-factor authentication, and be careful about what information you make public. And finally, number 10. Anything you've done that could seriously come back to hurt you later. This one should probably be obvious, but people still put everything online. You might think something is funny right now, but the internet has a very long memory. Something you post today could still exist years from now. So before you put something online, ask yourself if you'd still be comfortable with someone seeing it years later. Because once something is public, you don't completely control where it goes. And honestly, that's the biggest point behind this entire video. You don't have to tell everyone everything about yourself. There are things your closest friends can know, there are things you can share with people you trust, and there are things that are better kept completely private. That doesn't mean you should be afraid of everyone, it just means you should understand that privacy has value. Your life doesn't become more meaningful just because more people know about it. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is keep certain parts of your life completely yours. So those were 10 weirdly specific things you should probably keep to yourself. Maybe some of them were obvious, or maybe some of them were completely random, but hopefully at least one of them made you think twice before casually sharing something personal.